everybody. I'm Jeff Antoniuk. Welcome to the guided listening this week. So this week we're going to listen to Don Grolnick, piano player, and this is a tune off one of his Blue Note albums. It's called Weaver of Dreams, the name of the album. An incredible band. It's Michael Brecker on the tenor saxophone, Randy Brecker on the trumpet, Barry Rogers on trombone, Bob Mintzer on bass clarinet, Peter Erskine on drums, Dave Holland on bass. So it's like a serious all-star album. It is an incredible album. Don Grolnick, if you don't know, he had a really successful pop career playing piano, keyboards, music directing for, it's endless, James Taylor, Carly Simon, Steely Dan, and so just go down that list, right? But then all of the great jazz musicians that he played, wrote, arranged for. I love his composition and his arranging. And so that's one of the things we're going to be listening for here today. And by the way, I want you to come sign up for the Jazzwire free trial. You hear me talk about it. We had about 10 people sign up last week who have now come into Jazzwire. They're seeing the power of what's going on. So I would love for you to take a look at it. And these conversations that you and I get to have here every Friday, this is what happens all day long, 7 days a week inside Jazzwire. All the teaching, all the different songs we're working on. By the way, for the next 3 weeks, we're working on Pick Up the Pieces by the Average White Band. We're working on Groove Merchant, a really cool sort of gospel tune written by Jerome Richardson and sort of made famous by Thad Jones and the Mel Lewis Big Band. And then we're working on ESP, Wayne Shorter from the Miles Quintet, right? So that's the kind of stuff we're getting into, and love to work with you there. So let's continue on here. So I love Don Grolnick's playing. It's so swinging and soulful. He's so funny. I mean, I just wish I knew him as a person because there's such a great tongue-in-cheek humor about his playing that feels very much himself. When we think about humorous piano playing, we sort of think about Monk perhaps, or somebody. And yeah, I mean, I guess I could see someone on occasion making some relationship with Monk, but I mean, I'm just hearing Don Grolnick. I'm hearing Don Grolnick. And as I said, his writing, arranging. So we'll talk about that a little bit. So when I was at the University of North Texas from the mid-late 80s into the 90s, Don Grolnick came. And I remember him talking about making Michael Brecker's first album. I remember him telling stories about that. That came out in 1987. I remember him talking about this new album that was coming out. And he sat down at the piano and played a song, and he didn't know what it was going to be titled yet. It ended up being one of the songs from this album. Not the one we're going to listen to. What we're going to listen to, it's called I Want to Be Happy. Now, if you've been watching the guided listening videos, not that long ago, maybe it was a month or two ago, we did Stan Getz and the Oscar Peterson Trio playing the song I Want to Be Happy. It's this great 32 measure standard, pretty simple progressions and lots of 2-5-1s and not much to it. And Stan Getz romping through that thing with the Oscar Peterson Trio. So this happens to be the same song, and this amazing arrangement that is so modern, so quirky, so burning, and on and on. It's fantastic. So let's get into it, but we're going to think about the arrangement. Think about how long it takes before we hear the song. Think about the textures we're hearing. We're hearing group improvisations from 5 people at the same time. There's 4 horn players, and then Don on piano. Let's jump into it and hear what we're talking about. So right off the bat, what's the tempo? It's actually very fast. They're playing at 3:10, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So is this free playing? What's going on? All right, let's stop there. So horns come in and it's a little aleatoric and a little weird. Everything that we heard there at the beginning, I think, was one chorus of this song. So let's go back and see if we can, kind of, now that we know the tempo, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and see if we can hear a 32 measure chorus there. That was an A section, second A. Amazing note choices. Here's the bridge. So if you know the song, you can kind of hear it. Last Day. Second chorus of the tune. The time is so burning, but they're all insane. Here's the bridge. Last Day section. Third chorus. And this is the melody, deconstructed. Great pedal tones from Dave Holland. Here's the bridge. Last Day section. Incredible. Those textures. Woo! What even is that? It's Bob Mintzer playing bass clarinet through some guitar effects. A flanger, phase shifter, you know, that sort of thing. Listen to his soloing. He's really burned. Second chorus. Bob is a smart guy. I know Bob. And he's playing lots of eighth note figures, but he's also playing lots of slower note values, half notes, quarter notes, and repeated rhythms. Da do do da do da 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 da. So he's playing this really fast, demanding tempo that I don't want to play on bass clarinet. And he's picking rhythms that really work, but he's not playing incessant eighth notes like so many would. Ba-do, ba-da, ba-ba-ba-ba-da, right? Figures like that. So smart. What's this? Background's behind a drum solo. Peter Erskine. Those moments of group improvisation are so incredible. More group improvisation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. The whole band is improvising, including drums and bass. Yet the momentum is still moving. Woo! That's like being shot out of a cannon. Michael Brecker. What's Don Grolnick doing on his album right now? No piano. Trio. Still trio. That's an arranger. It's his album, and he knows to not play it. This is the bridge of the second chorus. Man, blowtorch. Here's the third chorus. Now we have some comping. So it brings the level of the playing up, right? Woo. The melody out. And that's the melody of the bridge with some group improvisation. Cool ending. A little retarded at the end. That's funny, burning, personal, amazing jazz, if you ask me. And that's got Don Grolnick's fingerprints all over it. I don't have to look at the album credits to see who arranged that, for sure. But then, Randy Brecker. I love Randy's playing, and we just did a guided listening on him. And he's not afraid to be a goof as he's playing burning music too. Oh man, it's such a great balance. And to think of that sort of old, simple 32 measure, very boxy sort of song, very inside harmony, and how he used Dave Holland doing a lot of pedal tones. How they use, sort of sus chords or different, chords over the bass notes to reharmonize the song. How he deconstructed the melody but kept enough of it to be that melody. The group improvisation stuff was incredible. Just what a cool idea to add this really wild undercurrent of like, what the hell's going on, to maybe mitigate or balance the squareness of this 32 measure AABA tune. But how he used the group improvisation stuff to highlight the form. So there's like 10 opposite things going on. He's working against the squareness of the tune as he uses the group improvisation stuff to highlight the form, because it's already getting really wild and free. So to me, it's a great balance of freedom inside a form, or form being realized with freedom, whichever way you want to go. It works both directions. Both solos, so Brecker, what are you going to say? He gets fired out of a cannon and he is going. Michael Brecker, beast mode, right? And who wants to play a solo on a tune that Michael Brecker played, especially as another woodwind player, right? Bob Mintzer, man, he and Brecker played together plenty and for each other, and they came up together and knew each other and played together well, and really cool different styles and so complementary. And I love the way Mincer soloed on that tune to show us a different way to play. If you happen to not have Michael Brecker's technique, like everyone on earth, if you happen to be like everyone on earth, maybe maybe that approach isn't going to work so well for you, right? So for kind of the rest of us, and not to say that Mincer doesn't have it, but his approach was different, and it was very personal. And I would know, even though like with the effects, bass clarinet and all that, like, yeah, I know that was Mincer. But if you played that with tenor sax, I would know that's Mincer because it's his rhythmic language. Mincer has this awesome rhythmic language. So, man, there's a lot going on there. So, I want to, I think this album's been out of print for a long time. I don't know if you can find it on the Blue Note, or if it's on Apple Music or whatever, but, geez, find this album. It's called Weaver of Dreams. If you were sort of unaware or peripherally aware of Don Grolnick, or you thought he was like a pop guy from the 80s or whatever, Don Grolnick, man, killer player, and his writing and arranging is like really second to none. So as I was thinking about what to do this week for a guided listening, as I was thinking like, oh yeah, wow, this album and this tune especially. And so there's a couple things I'm going to be stealing from Mincer's solo and from Brecker's solo. We're going to be talking about that stuff inside Jazzwire this week. So if you'd like to come in and really start putting some teeth to some of this information and how it applies to you, if you'd like to work literally, one-on-one in a way where I can hear you and you can hear me and we have conversations inside a big community, that's what Jazzwire does so well. So I'll see you there. Take the free trial, and I hope we'll be working together soon. Hope you enjoyed this. Don Grolnick, everybody. Take care.